When it comes to managing your groups in Azure AD, make sure you're hanging out with the right crowd. In today's episode of Identity Security Shorts, we're going to explore some of the risks that can come from misconfigurations and lack of visibility in Azure AD groups. Let's dive in. So pretty much everyone understands that assigning privileges to individual users and identities is just both inefficient and not very secure. Best practices calls for assigning users to groups and then assigning those groups the privileges. So that way you can move users in and out as needed, but the privileges stay the same way for the groups. While this is really good for reducing some of your risk, there are still some issues which can arise, which can expose your data and cause other issues. So here's a couple of examples where we see this happen fairly often in Azure AD groups. First off is with nested groups. So take, for example, a dev group, which is put inside of a group for DevSecOps, which then helps them to gain privileges to production. We want to avoid that. Second is public groups, which can be very useful for getting a lot of information out to a lot of people in your organization. The problem is if you don't know that it's a public group, it can easily expose sensitive data that you won't want to have shared to everyone. Third is something we call dynamic groups. And these are groups which have automated rules for moving people in and out according to roles, location, whatever variable you use. The problem is that because it's automated, sometimes the wrong people can slip in and out of the group and you won't be aware of it. So how can Authomize help with Azure AD groups? Well, for starters, we're going to help you understand who has access to what and what they can do with that access. That means because we're able to track all the identities, access privileges, assets, and access privilege usage, we can see every identity in your Azure AD and how they have access to all different assets throughout your different environments. So that means we see all the groups that they have access to. We help you understand with context to understand which groups they should be in, they should not be in, and what the full extent of their blast radius is, giving them access to additional resources which you might not want them to have. But by providing very concise, easy to understand recommendations, we're able to help you reduce the access privileges of each individual user and achieve a real state of least privilege. If you want to learn more about reducing your risk in Azure AD, please come visit our website. See you next time. Bye.